Are you thinking that your divine masculine has completely forgotten about you, that it's all in your head? Maybe they don't care about you. And what is really going on your twin flame journey when you feel such intensity towards them, but it doesn't seem like they're reciprocating that back? I want you to know that that is very normal. And even though it doesn't feel good, it's all part of the process of healing your dynamic with your divine masculine. And know that a lot of people don't always know the truth about what the divine masculine is feeling on the twin flame journey, how he feels, what he knows, what he's too scared to tell you. And so, if that is what you're moving through, this video is for you. Before you jump into it, hello and welcome back to Peace, Love, Faith, and Divine Union. I am Kanisha. I am a twin flame ascension coach. I also love helping you get really clear on your mindset, your beliefs, your core values in order to really help you align into your true, authentic, divine self so that you can align into your true twin flame union. I am currently in union and permanently in union with my divine masculine, and hopefully within the next video or two you will get to meet him and actually see him here next to me in person, which is going to be super exciting. So definitely stay tuned and look out for that video. But if you're needing support on your twin flame journey, definitely check out the intro session below. I do offer that to brand new clients. And if you're ready to jump in and like fully invest in yourself in your union, which I 100% highly recommend, definitely check out a Ascension coach one-on-one a one-on-one session with me. You'll find my link down below and a lot of my other links to all my other social medias, and I speak on twin flames and that space as well too. So let's go ahead and jump in a little bit about what the divine masculine feels but doesn't always say. And this is something that I have really got to learn more about while being in union with my divine masculine. Really get to hear like his process, and you'll hear more about that in the next video that we do together. But one of the things that the divine masculine is really known for is not always speaking their emotions, because they're very logical creatures, they're very action oriented, and so expressing and being vulnerable about their feelings isn't always easy to them. It isn't really their natural state of being unless they really healed into that space. So if you're finding that's happening with your divine masculine, I really encourage you to be very compassionate and patient with them. But the divine masculine awakens a little differently than the divine feminine does. It's not loud and it's not super obvious, and it's more internal, like chaotic and silent. And they tend to work through a lot of anger while they're moving through their process of separation with their divine feminine. So if he pulls away, just know that he, just like you, he dreams about you, he thinks about you, you're on his mind all the time. He questions why he can't move forward without you, why he can't move on without you. He thinks about you continuously. Even if he doesn't want to, he'll find himself really trying to distract himself from you. And a lot of the times what I learned specifically from my divine masculine is because they can't give to you what they want to give, or feel that they're good enough to give it to you, they'll just avoid altogether. And as divine feminines, we're like, why? Don't do that. We don't like it. But it's their way of moving through their process, because internally they're moving through not feeling enough, not feeling like they can really give and love their divine feminine the way they know that she deserves. And so they find themselves really pulling back and going into that hermit mode and really reclusing in, because they don't want to hurt you. And yet their actions are doing just that. And so then they just feel even more guilt and shame. And so again, if this is the process that you're moving through your divine masculine, just be very compassionate and patient with them. Hold space for them. Know that it's not personal. But the more that they feel, the more the old structure of their identity starts to crack open, and the more that they move through an ego death. And that, if you've been through that, feels so uncomfortable. So know that it's a process that they really have to move through. Now, one of the things that I like to talk about is the phase of them pulling away. And this can feel very personal. It can feel very hurtful. It can really feel like you're in this alone, and that They don't care or desire you the way that you desire them. But most masculines were raised to suppress their vulnerability and to be strong and to be logical about things. While as divine feminines, we feel every emotion and we express every emotion. And that can feel very, it can feel a lot and overwhelming for the divine masculine to have to hold space for their divine feminine when they haven't learned to even hold space for themselves. So again, it's not personal. But when they're meeting you during their awakened process, you're awakening emotions in them that they weren't just ready to face yet. Like, you are their perfect mirror as their divine feminine. And so, like, you're like not even physically, but energetically, like in their face, in a sense of you've just brought everything up to the surface for them. And to them, that can feel very overwhelming. And it's not like they're looking at you and blaming you. Maybe some of them are like, oh my gosh. I literally hear at times in my mind when I channel the divine masculine, it's like, you did this to me. You made me feel this way. You made me feel all these emotions. I was doing just fine until you made me look at all these parts of me. And so they can be a little dramatic, but that's okay. Just have compassion, love them where they are, and know that it's just part of their process of really stepping into their true divine masculine energy. So during this process of awakening, they're going to really move through a lot of blocks and feelings and hurts around not feeling good enough, not only for you, but for their family and those around them. They're going to really move through fear of losing their freedom. This is something my masculine worked through, where it was just him, and then coming into union with me now not only meant coming in union with me, but it meant coming into union with my children as now his children. And he's really claimed my children as his children. So we really live in our home as a divine family. And so that can feel very scary if that is the situation for your masculine, to go from one to, like, in this case, four. And it can just feel like, am I going to be enough? Do I have enough to be able to really support this process, this family, what God is calling me to do? And the other thing that they have to move through too is having to release shame and guilt, maybe around the way that they've been showing up, around their past, around maybe where they think they're headed. And in result of that, they tend to pull away um, out of fear, and know that them pulling away isn't rejection towards you, it's survival for them. And it's how they know how to keep themselves safe, as well as keeping you safe. Because if they feel vulnerable and not feel like they can feel safe, they might say things or do things unintentionally, or maybe even intentionally, to hurt you. I know that there's been some masculines who are like, maybe if I hurt her emotionally, she'll like want to stay away from me, and she'll realize I'm not good for her. So they self-sabotage and they try to push you away. But sorry, y'all, like, divine feminines could be stubborn and would be like, we're gonna love you anyways. And so they tend to like feel shame about these things. And so know that if you're the divine feminine in a situation, like, the divine masculine isn't pulling away from you, they're pulling away from the parts of themselves that they're like terrified to really face, and that they're terrified to really look at and like move through that raw feeling and emotion, and ultimately like let you in and let you see that part of them. So it's just part of their process of awakening, which is kind of the next thing that I want to move into, is that for the divine masculine, their awakening can feel like a freaking earthquake, y'all. Like, it could just feel like all this, they were doing fine, and then their divine feminine walks in, and all of a sudden their life it's just like being shaken up. Like, I get this image of like a snow globe, where you like shake the snow globe and they're just like, hold on for dear life, because like this divine feminine just came in and rocked my world and made me think of things and feel things and have these emotions and thought processes and patterns that I didn't even know exist come to the surface, so that I can align to my true divine self. Like, who does this divine feminine think she is? Like, they move through a lot of anger around these things, and it's not even anger towards you. It's just anger at the fact that there are these things that they didn't even know were there that are now coming to the surface. So for them, first, like, everything could look very normal. And then these cracks start to appear, things start to come through, and they start to see that everything is now breaking down, and they're now having to really look at thought processes and behavior patterns and beliefs that really no longer align with where they're headed to. And they're having to really ask themselves, like, is this truly the life that I actually thought I wanted? Is this the direction I wanted to head in? Because now having this divine feminine in my life has made me rethink some things. And I know that my masculine experienced this, where he really thought he wanted one thing, but the more that I healed and the more that he healed and the more that we seeked God individually and together, the more that what he thought he wanted started to shift, and what we wanted started to really align together, and get really clear on what was really meant for us versus what we thought was for us. But that required us to heal first, because in order to align what's really truly meant for you, you have to let go of old beliefs, patterns, thought processes, and really align to truth, really align to love. And if you have questions on that, or I'm not sure if you're doing that correctly, again, I do offer coaching, and that is part of my process, is helping you get really clear on what that looks like for you and your union, because every union is unique and individually crafted by God specifically for you. So everyone's a little bit different, everyone's union looks a little bit different, but know that that's a process that you'll have to move through. And so in the silence of their awakening, and in their running and in their being avoidant and dismissive, the DM starts to do their own healing. But if you want your DM to heal, I highly recommend that you're healing and doing your own inner work, that you're doing the mirror exercise, that you're reflecting, that you're letting go of beliefs, patterns, thought processes, really looking at how do you view love, how do you view relationships. And when you truly start to do that, so will they. And in their own healing process, from what I learned from my DM, is they tend to move through some really intense things. Like they move through nightmares. They also move through dreaming of the divine feminine. A lot of them, I've been told, have had dreams about losing their divine feminine, or even like God telling them like this is your wife in their dreams, and like seeing their divine feminine in their dreams in that way. They also move through synchronicities like you do. For a lot of masculines, from what I hear, based off of like the ones that I've coached with and my own twin flame, is they see it as coincidences, but us feminines know, like, no, bro, there's no such thing as coincidence. It's a synchronicity. It's the universe talking to you. It's God. And then they also have a lot of emotional breakdowns that they don't really tell anyone. And this is a process I also moved through with my masculine, where he was moving through so much and recognizing these synchronicities and these understandings, but he never spoke them to anyone other than me. And he would tell me, like, man, I don't talk to anyone about these things. I have not shared this with anyone other than you. And that became kind of a theme in a lot of our conversations, was like, I haven't like shared this with anyone. And when we started like awakening, we started together. I think like, and ultimately at a soul level, like you waken together. You don't waken separately. Like he's having his awaken process, I'm having my awaken process. It looks different on the outside, but at the core, we're both awakening. And so when we started moving through that process, we were just friends. And he knew that I had feelings for him, and I knew at a core level that he had feelings for me, no matter how much he denied them. But the more that we really started to grow in this space, the more vulnerable and open we were able to be with each other, the more we shared things about ourselves to each other that we only shared with each other. And that really started to build a foundation for our union, to start building trust with one another. So if you and your twin flame are just in the stage of just friends, really allow yourself to relax into that, to nurture that, to allow that to grow, because the best relationships are built on a friendship. And that was something I desired at the core of my divine relationship, is that we were best friends. And that's exactly what we experienced, or being best friends. And so then the intimate and romantic part develops after that. And it's safe to just allow that to develop. Like, don't rush that. Allow that to really be built on a solid foundation. And you will find that your union is unbreakable. So you'll realize that they just move through a lot, and it's all part of their process of their sacred awakening, the sacred breakdown of the ego. And you just have to remember, like, they're not lost. They're like, they're becoming who they need to be. They're becoming the best versions of themselves. They're becoming the most honest and vulnerable versions of themselves. So I wanted to help support you by letting you know, like, what is the best way to support them as they're moving through their awakening without chasing, because this is a very common thing a feminine will do, is chase. So let's not to do that. And how we can support them is, first, your role is to not fix them. Like, that is not your responsibility. Your role is to hold your peace, is to shine your light, is to live your best life, is to do things that really bring you joy, really taking care of yourself, making yourself a priority. When you do this, it really supports the masculine and his process. And it's important that you really do focus on your own healing, because you're one with your twin flame. So if you're focused on your healing, they're focused on their healing. And ultimately, it leads you to each other so much quicker. And when you can stay in unconditional love without enabling bad behavior or enabling just negative thought processes or energies, or just the way that he's showing up, and really support him in that space by encouraging him, loving him, reminding him, you'll find that that will just really attract him towards you. And then you also have to trust God in his process. That was a big one that I had to do. I had to continuously surrender him back to God. I had to trust God with him. I was like, God, I trust you with my man. I trust you with my husband. Like, I am not trying to interfere here. Like, this is not my job. I'm not meant to fix him. I'm not meant to like knock on his door and be like, are you healing in there so we can come into union? No, I completely surrendered him to God. And by doing that, things moved so much quicker. So when you anchor into your divine feminine energy and you really send out this signal of safety and not pressure, and by doing that, how you do that is by creating safety for yourself and not pressuring yourself to heal. Like, I have to heal in order to be in my union. Don't do that, because that's not going to work. It's like manipulation within yourself. Just really choose your safety. Choose union with yourself. Choose union with God. Choose to relax. Choose your peace. You will find that you will naturally be the light that he follows. Because in truth, like in absolute truth, like, you're not crazy for feeling this connection. You're not crazy for believing in him. The path back to you is built. It's built every time that you choose yourself, really. And I know that there's a lot of like communication out there and a lot of content about like how to be I hear the stupidest things, like how to be the black cat while they're a golden retriever, and how to be the woman of his dreams by ignoring him, or if he wanted to he would. Like, all that stuff has to go out the window, because on soulmate level relationships, yeah, that'll work. But on divine relationships, when they're your perfect mirror, if you're trying to play games, you're going to be played, okay? That's all I got to say. If you're trying to play games with your twin flame union, you're going to have the games played back in your face, because it's a mirror. You can't manipulate the situation. You can't, you just can't manipulate your way into your union with your twin flame. You genuinely have to heal into union with yourself and with your twin flame, and know that he's not forgetting about you. Like, this is the biggest concern I had. He's gonna forget about me, but no, they can't. Like, they're you and you're them. They can't forget about you. So he's walking his path to you and to himself in truth, and all you gotta do is keep shining your light, being the beautiful soul that you are. You are his light. You are everything that he desires. And all you have to do is really and just embody being the divine feminine that you know God has called you to be. So I hope this resonated with you. If it does, definitely don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm growing a space here where we can just really create divine love, because only divine love is real, and being your best and authentic self is the most important, and really learning to prioritize yourself. I am all for that. Really learning how to get your mindset into the most loving, abundant, enlightened mindset. I'm here for it, okay? So if you need that support, I'm 100% here. to support you in any way that I can. Definitely leave a comment below. Let me know what your favorite part was. Maybe let me know if there's an insight that you received. If you also have content that you want to hear or know about, drop that down below. And know that, again, you're divine masculine. I love you. I love you. They love you. Okay? So don't give up, because there's many times where I'm like, this is never coming together. And now I live with my twin flame in this beautiful home that he bought for us. And I am really looking forward to having him in my video. Hopefully my next video, or maybe the video after that, we're talking about what kind of content we want to talk on and what kind of questions to ask him. If you have questions that you want to ask the divine masculine and we can ask them in the next video, put those down below too. Like, so excited. Anyways, I love you guys. Peace, love, and faith. Stay amazing. I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.